Hi, this is Kathy Moore. I'm the mayor of Rossland in BC. We are a very small mountain town. We depend on tourism and skiers to visit our community. We're heavily dependent on the tourism industry. So this COVID virus hit us really hard. We had to close down our ski resort. We have a lot of locals who are out of business now because their restaurants are closed. They've lost their jobs. There's a lot of concern in the community. And the other thing that this pandemic has caused is people can't get out and support each other together because everyone is now on lockdown. We all have to stay home. We all have to, do what we can to protect ourselves, protect our communities. So Thought Exchange has played an incredible role for us. It's really been helpful. We've been able to reach out to the community and say, hey, what are your concerns? What do we need to do as a community to get through this situation together? And I think it's been really helpful because a lot of people have participated. We've got several hundred and we're a small town, right? So hundreds is a big deal. We do a public event, public consultation on our budget, and we get 5 people show up. So to have hundreds participate in something like this is really good. And we were able to ask a couple of questions up front. The first one was, what's your age? And the second one was, how important is social distancing to you? Because that gave us 2 really good metrics to look at, and then parse the information that we got based on age, based on whether they think it's important or not important to change their behavior. So we could really look at different ways that their responses, were different depending on who they were. So basically what we found, and it was really good for the city to find out, is that our citizens are right aligned with what we as a city are doing. Like, they were willing for us to close our facilities, close our parks, close our programs, close everything before we even did it. Like, they were saying, yes, we need to get right on this. And we already had the plans in place to do that, but we hadn't instituted it yet. And as mayor, it's really important for me to feel like I'm working with my community, not against them. So if a lot of activities and ideas that people brought forward in Thought Exchange were contrary to what we were doing as a city, that would indicate to me that I needed to do a better job communicating what the risks and, all the risks of activities would be if they didn't follow what we were asking. But luckily for us, we determined that the community was pretty much aligned with what the city was doing. So that was really good. I mean, Thought Exchange is such a valuable and flexible tool to use, because not only do you get to hear ideas that people are saying, but you also get to have the whole community rank them by their importance. So the really important ones come to the top, which is helpful. And there's so many different ways to look at the material as the tools are laid out. For people who are visual learners, you can put it out as a word cloud or tiles or things like that, or heat maps. And for the more nerdy types that really like graphs, we can do it in graphs, right? We can put the top thoughts will come to the top of the report, and the things that are of lesser importance to people go to the bottom. So somebody puts in kind of a wacky idea and it doesn't get a lot of traction. Well, then it's a way to cut down on some of the rumors and things that go out about in the community of like, well, this really isn't true and people don't really support this. People say, oh, everyone believes this. Well, in fact, everyone doesn't if they're not starring those things as important thoughts. So it's been really helpful for me. I've really appreciated Thought Exchange's tool in this time particularly. It's also, we had a little bit of hesitation with our council. They were concerned that the Thought Exchange process would open the city up to a lot of people saying, well, I put the thought in there, so why aren't you doing it? When in fact, I've worked with Thought Exchange over 5 years since I've been mayor, and I've never had that happen. Like, the community is really reasonable about what their expectations are. They understand that the thoughts that are coming out are from the community. It doesn't mean the city's going to be able to act on every great idea that comes forward, although it's really good to sort of tap into the wisdom of the crowd. And that's what Thought Exchange does in a really, really good way.